Hey, thank you for joining us for today's press conference brought to you by Juppins. A lot to just kind of uncover and look throughout the whole game. A lot of questions left unanswered. Just a lot going on. Obviously, Ken, the story being ejected, 2 technical fouls. Definitely both were very controversial. Can you just kind of give your take on that?
If you've ever watched me play, I play with a lot of passion. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I go all out for my teammates. This is my 5th year in the league, so a lot of refs know me. We have good rapport. We had a new ref in the crew this game, and he wasn't really used to me yet, I guess. First tech I scored it and looked at the player, and he blew me for the first tech. The second tech, I laid it and got no call, but I yelled to my teammate for encouragement. And, I looked over in his vicinity. He was in the vicinity over by the bench. So that I could see where he might have thought I was talking to him. But that was the second one, and that was the ejection in the third quarter. And unfortunately, that kind of hurt my team because my leadership and my vocalism wasn't present. So it made it harder for my teammates to try to get the job done.
Now, obviously being a veteran within this league in multiple years, have you, with the officiating in this kind of scenario, have you seen this happen?
Oh, yes. It's a great league. I love this league. Obviously, that's why I'm 5 years strong. But the officiating kind of gets sticky sometimes just because they may not be used to seeing some of the high-level talent sometimes. And it was shocking to me my first year to see how good guys really are in this league and how athletic and strong guys can really be. And so sometimes it's hard for them to see something and call it, or they might call it late, or they may not call it at all. So that's just kind of the adjustment from high school to college to pros that you just have to kind of get used to and maybe like adapt game to game.
Now, it's also important to note that your frustration wasn't just on the calls on yourself, but also on teammates specifically, such as Terrell Wilson, being an MVP for the league candidate. He doesn't get any favor when he's driving.
Terrell Wilson is a phenomenal talent. Like I've played with a lot of guys, NBA talent, all kinds of talent overseas. Terrell has that it factor. He doesn't stop. He doesn't see obstacles. He just goes. And his heart is so big and so strong. We can go off of Terrell alone. And he doesn't get any calls. Like, he rarely gets any calls because he's so crafty with the ball. And the refs don't like to give him a lot of calls because he's so crafty with the ball. And it's just, it's hard. But when Terrell's going, there's no stopping him.
Now, stepping away from the game from this specific game for a moment, obviously we have the TBL All-Star Week that's approaching. You definitely have some personal expectations that you're looking for. And then, of course, they're looking at adding a voting aspect to this.
Right.
So any fans watching that are looking for being able to send someone over to Lehigh, what would be your message to them?
I would definitely say this team has multiple all-star candidates. Obviously, no question, leading with Terrell Wilson, MVP candidate. I believe he's second or if not first in averaging points with his 32-point performance last night. And then there's me, obviously, 5-year vet. I'm averaging 23 and about 8 rebounds, so I'm looking to get votes myself. There's a 6-man Kylon Giroux. He's averaging 18. Like, there's just a lot of people out here that deserve some votes that, it'd be nice to get those guys to represent Sarasota for the All-Star weekend.
Now, outside of the All-Star game itself, are there any specific events that you'd like to see yourself participate in?
I would love to go overseas one more time, whether it's mid-season, end of the season, just to go get some more experience around the world. I've been in Dominican Republic, and that's about it. I'm trying to go to Canada sometime before I put the ball down, but anywhere else after that or in between that before I retire would be great. That's my personal aspirations.
Before we move on, even though obviously there were some critical calls that may have been frustrating, but I know you are definitely a heavy advocate for the TBL and what they do. If you just kind of expand a little bit on that as well.
Oh, of course. The TBL is not another league like it. And that's a positive thing. We're a real black-owned professional league by Evelyn Magley being the owner. We pay players. So there's 3 leagues in the United States that's actually paying players. The NBA, the NBA G League, and the TBL. So our prestige in the United States is so high, but it's the best kept secret right now. So until we get a national sponsor, a good TV sponsor for the guys to throw some money and trickle it down through the league, we'll continue to be the best kept secret. But there's not another league like this in the United States where you're going to get the competition, get, the fans, the arenas and stuff. So it's a great league.
Moving on, before we even dive into some more questions, if you just kind of want to introduce yourself.
I'm just gonna hold it. I'm Sheldon Oduna, rookie. This is my first year in the TBL, 6'3" guard. It's been fun so far. These first, what has it been? 5 weeks. 5 weeks. And you just, as Ken said, this is a different league that, at first coming into it, I wasn't really sure what to expect, but we have vets like Ken, Terrell, who was here last year, LT, who was here last year, Marcus, who kind of prepared us from the jump to be knowing what we're getting into as far as officiating, play style, physicality. So, we were well prepped, and, I thank them a lot for, having me well prepped, and for the good games I have when I have them, I do, attribute a lot of it to them for that preparation.
You've definitely been able to show your role, being able to especially have those starts where you're able to kind of uplift your team. On the other side of things, are there any players specifically on the team that you think are motivating or pouring into, especially being a rookie?
Yeah, 1 through 8. I think we have dressing 1 through 9, all of them. I mean, from what they don't see. Fans see game time. They see 48 minutes on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. But practice, we go at it, right? From whether you played today or you did, we go at it at practice. And so that's motivation. In the locker room is motivation. I'll tell you that I have shooting spells where it's a cold night. It's a bad night. I mean, I had one yesterday night. It was just a bad game. And I have Ken. Ken tells me all the time, he's like, I don't care how many you miss. You better shoot it again when I throw you the ball. LT says the same thing. They yell at me to shoot. I get in more trouble for not shooting the ball than I get in trouble for shooting the ball bad shot. So I have their encouragement from 1 through 9, all the rotations, honestly.
Now, obviously, having a good transition, go from college, high school level now you're moving on.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference that you think you've seen?
The biggest difference is it's just professionalism. In college you're a professional. You try to do your best, show up to class. You have classes and you also have practice. But here, it's getting the work in when no coach right there. No coach is going to beg you to put up shots. No coach is going to beg you to get in the gym. No coach is going to beg you or even really set more than the allocated practice time for you to get in here and work on your game. They'll open the gym for you. Whatever you get done with it, that's your business, right? Practices, especially when you're playing pro games and it's such a physical game, you can't be scrimmaging 4 days a week to prepare for Friday's game. You may get shots up. You may get 1 to 2 reps total. And those 2 reps have to be your best 2 reps to make sure that you're prepared for the weekend's game. So that professionalism to take a lot of accountability on yourself, not wait for someone else to be accountable for you. High school, your parents aren't going to be like, hey, you need to get up in the morning. It's on you. So you're a grown man. This league is for grown men. And you're going to have to be more accountable. So that's the biggest difference throughout the 3 stages.
Just kind of highlighting on that, with taking accountability, even though some of the calls didn't go the way, obviously at the end of the day, it is a loss. But what's the perspective now moving forward?
The perspective is the accountability we take on is that we're prepared. I know it seems that we're, maybe a little bit upset, and we like the blatant ones to be kind of called, but we prepare for this. As I said, we knew. Ken has been saying this since I think first practice. We're going to see some calls that are just, a little tough. But the adversity we're prepared for, so we take that accountability that regardless of calls or no calls, it's up to us to definitely take the accountability, finish the game, finish strong. I mean, even with the calls today, we were in the game for most of the game. It did, slip away from us, but yeah, there's nothing where the calls were putting us, way behind the eight ball. We do take the accountability that regardless of what we see, the way the ball bounces, whatever, we're going to take the accountability to try to win this game every night.
And obviously, everyone says that it's a game of runs.
Yeah.
And then, just kind of day, they just kind of had the runs in their favor, lasting a little bit longer, kind of close yours off. Kind of just going in on that, what do you think is the importance, again, of just kind of, just continuing to build chemistry, to just kind of stretch out those runs, as well as, just defensively starting to become more cohesive?
For us, our runs are mostly stretched out when we do it both ends for a little bit longer. Sometimes we go on offensive runs, but then, defense is a little lacking. And then sometimes we go on defensive runs and the ball is just not falling. And, it's okay. Those happen. So for us with our communication, it's week 5, game 5. So it's still early in the season. I know it seems like we've been playing for, a long time. It's early in the season. The chemistry is still being built. We're not expecting to be only playing a regular season. We're definitely aiming for the playoffs. So chemistry is just going to get better every week, day in, day out, every practice. So for those runs, it's just communicating, staying locked in. And as I said, once we get to that bench, we also communicate a lot at the bench, right? So we know when our runs stop, we just sit there. And Ken has the greatest saying. He's like, 3 stops, 3 buckets. That's how a run starts, right? We're not looking for let's get 18 points in a row and, 10 stops and hold them under. We don't do that. We go 3 stops, 3 buckets, figure that out, and then you do it again. So just this consistency of doing something incrementally small to get a larger result.
Again, for this week's time again, this is Ken Lewis of the Gold Coast Lions, and we'll look forward to next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.